guys, welcome back to All Booked Book Reviews. I'm so glad to have you all with me. And this is part 3 of our Christmas Book-a-Thon, so we are moving right along. And I have enjoyed the series so much so far. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got a whole bunch to go through, so I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Behold is written by Faith L. Potts. She has also a few standalones, including Dandelion Dust, which we'll hit into that later on, Love Needs No Words, and Window Fellow. And she also has Freedom, which is book 1 of Liberty's Battlegrounds. Behold was published December 2018. There are 102 pages. There's 4 stories, so we're looking at about 25 pages per story. And the typical reading time is an hour and 46 minutes. When it comes to book genres, there's Christian fiction, historical fiction, which falls under the World War II, also like military fiction, we can pop that in there, romance, and short stories. And here is the synopsis. A collection of short stories honoring the birth of the Savior. From 2 siblings caught up in the harrowing days of World War II to separated foster children in the U.S., from a memorable road trip across the Southeast to the reunion of a war-torn family, you'll be swept into the Christmas spirit with the endearing stories tucked inside these pages. The storylines range from family to romance to the bond of community, with settings scattered across America and beyond. Behold the beauty of the Savior's birth with this gathering of stories that warm the soul and bless the heart. So I have done a couple other books that are comprised of short stories, and both of those I have just reviewed it as a whole because there's either been too many, like a lot of stories, so it would take all day to do it, or I would be just repeating myself saying the same thing because I felt the same about most of them. This one, however, we are going to go by individual stories. So these will be kind of slightly vague reviews because I don't want to give away the big plot of the story, and I don't do spoilers on here, so this will not look like our usual reviews. So the first story is Home for Christmas, and it was a really good start to the series. It had good themes of family, acceptance, and unconditional love. The story moved at a pretty reasonably fast pace. To be honest, I did have trouble getting into this one in the beginning, but the more I read, the more things got better and kind of smoothed out as it went. It was very wholesome and sweet and touching. The characters, they were okay, but they didn't really stand out or anything, to me anyway, personally. I did like the setting, the World War II setting. I liked that. It was really neat. So overall, while I did enjoy this, it was not my favorite of the 4. The second story is Unexpected Blessings. Now, this one, I really needed more of the story, and I thought that the plot was taking a certain direction, and I was like, oh, this is going to happen, and it did not happen that way. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, so it didn't end the way I expected or hoped for. I did like the characters a lot better in this one than the previous one. The 2 little girls, they're so cute. I like them. So I liked the characters, and I thought they were, I don't know, they were easier to connect to, I think, than the other ones. So I did like that. It again took place during World War II, so that was really cool. So yeah, this story I thought was pretty short and sweet, straight to the point. Overall, again, I did enjoy this. So this was good, and it was better than the previous one. Okay, and the next story is called Christmas Homecoming. This one I like much, much better than the previous 2. Number one reason I like it better is because there was more conflict. Up until now, the stories where the families are concerned, they've been very tight-knit families and very, almost too perfect. Not really any conflict. There's some, but not I would have liked, I guess. So I really liked the conflict. It made everything much more believable and realistic, and it gave some, human essence to the story, I guess. Made it more human. And aside from the conflict, because apparently I like drama in my books, I liked the ending. It was very satisfying, sweet ending, and everything just played out really, really well. It was very touching. It was predictable to a degree, but not 100%, which I did like. So my overall thoughts for this one, so far, this is my favorite one for the few different reasons I listed. It had more conflict, it felt more real and less perfect. Granted, the conflict was super mild, didn't last long, but it was there, and that's the main point. So this one is my favorite so far. Up until now, I was kind of meh about the whole thing. It was good, don't not get me wrong. This was really good. It was enjoyable. Good Christian themes and Christmassy, and it's World War II, so it's historical, so it was fun. However, it was kind of meh. Now, this fourth story changed everything for me. What Matters, that's the fourth story. So I mentioned earlier that one of her books is called Dandelion Dust. It's a standalone. This one, the fourth story, is a short story sequel to Dandelion Dust. I was hesitant because I hadn't read Dandelion Dust. I still haven't, but I want to. So I didn't know what to expect. Personally, me, I don't like starting in the middle of a series, or I have to start with book 1. Or if there's a prequel 0.5, I have to start with that one. Is anyone else like that? Because I am. I cannot start in the middle of a series. So I was hesitant, but oh my goodness, guys. From the very start, I was invested in everything. The characters, the story, the plot, setting, everything. I don't know what it was about it, but it was just, it drew me in like crazy. And I loved the characters and their lives and everything. The story had a general down home, laid back feel to it. There was some great messages. There was counting your blessings, showing kindness to others, being thankful for what we have, and the theme of it could always be worse. And I don't know, there was just something unique and very special about this particular story that the others didn't have. I don't know, I feel like the author put extra heart and love in this story. Not that she didn't in the others, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, there was something more dear to this story than the others. And after finishing it, I went ahead and I bought Dandelion Dust. It was that good, and I need more of these characters in the story. So I have yet to read that, but I'm going to. So for the star rating, before reading the last story, I was at a solid 3 stars. However, that last one bumped it up to 4 stars. So I'm going to give Behold 4 out of 5 stars. Would I reread this? Honestly, I can't see myself picking it up again. Maybe if I was in the mood for next Christmas, perhaps, but I don't know. So for the recommendations. First off, if you have any interest at all in World War II, the 1940s, that era, or stories about soldiers coming home, especially for Christmas, then you will absolutely love this. Contemporary romance that kind of takes place in the country, sort of, very laid back, down home, stuff like that. You'll enjoy that, especially the last story. You'll like that one. Christian fiction, short stories, stories with wholesome families. You'll like this for sure. And these all had a pretty good Christmassy feel to them too. So if you like Christmas stories, this is a book for you. As for where to find this book, first it is on Goodreads. You can add it to your to-read list. You can follow the author and check out more of her books that she has. As for purchasing it, the only 2 places that I know of is on Amazon Kindle and on her website. The link's down below. You can actually order a signed copy. Now, I'm not sure if she's still doing this or not, but it is on her website, so you can always get in contact with her and ask her about that. Alrighty, guys. I hope it was not confusing for you guys or difficult to follow. I know I had trouble actually doing individual stories because I felt like I was very limited on what I could say. So it was difficult to do. But I hope I gave you a good idea about the book, and you can decide if you want to read it or not. And all the links are below if you do decide to check it out. So our Christmas Book-a-Thon will continue. Our next book we'll be looking at is Red Boots. And until then, happy reading!